Song of Solomon, English Standard Version, Women's Study Bible. Introduction and Commentaries. Author and date. The wording of the first verse in Song of Solomon, or Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 1, does not necessarily mean that Solomon wrote the book. It may have been written by Solomon himself, or it could have been written in his honor. When he is mentioned, chapter 1, verse 5, chapter 3, verse 7, 9, 11, chapter 8, verses 11 through 12, it is generally as a distant, even idealized figure. What is known about Solomon suggests that he probably was not the writer himself. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1, chapter 11, verses 1 through 8. However, the book was probably composed during Solomon's time, perhaps under his oversight, between circa 960 and 931 BC. Theme. The Song of Solomon contains beautiful poetry expressing romantic love between a young man and a young woman in ancient Israel. He is a shepherd, chapter 1, verse 7, and she is a shepherdess, chapter 1, verse 8. They are looking forward to their marriage and the pleasure it will bring. Interpreting literary images. The Song of Solomon includes several extravagant comparisons. For example, the woman is compared to a horse in Pharaoh's court, chapter 1, verse 9, and her hair is compared to a flock of goats, chapter 4, verse 1. It is helpful to remember that 1. The comparisons are figurative rather than literal, and 2. What the person has in common with what he or she is compared with is a certain quality, usually the quality of excellence, or of being the best of its kind. Structure. The author has presented the Song of Solomon as a series of exchanges, mostly between the shepherdess and the shepherd, with the chorus-like others sprinkled in. These others usually pick up items from the lover's speeches and urge the two forward in love. There is also a refrain, "I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you not stir up or awaken love until it pleases." Chapter 2, verse 7, chapter 3, verse 5, chapter 8, verse 4, variation in chapter 5, verse 8, spoken by the shepherdess. This is understood as her urging the other women not to push this love too fast in order to let it reach its consummation at the right time, the marriage bed, which seems to begin in chapter 8, verse 5. Key themes. 1. God's law commands sexual purity. Marriage provides the right framework within which his people may properly enjoy the gift of sexual intimacy. See Genesis chapter 2, verses 23 through 24. Thus God's people honor him and commend him to the world when they demonstrate with their lives that obedience in such matters brings genuine delight. 2. Marriage is a gift of God and is to be founded on loyalty and commitment. See Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Hold fast, which allows delight to flourish. As such, it is a fitting image for God's relationship with his people. Outline. 1. Title, The Best of Songs, chapter 1, verse 1. 2. The lovers yearn for each other, chapter 1, verse 2 through chapter 2, verse 17. 3. The shepherdess dreams, chapter 3, verse 1 through chapter 6, verse 3. 4. The lovers yearn for each other again, chapter 6, verse 4 through chapter 8, verse 4. 5. The lovers join in marriage, chapter 8, verse 5 through 14. Behold, he comes. Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 8 through 17. Through the poetry of the Song of Solomon, we get to peek inside the relationship between two married lovers. As the woman sees her beloved coming to her, overcoming every obstacle to get to her, she hears his voice saying, "Arise, my love, my beautiful one, and come away." Song chapter 2, verse 10. He's inviting her to come to him and enjoy intimacy with him. Their secure belonging, each to the other, is expressed in her words. My beloved is mine, and I am his. Verse 16. Clearly, the song speaks to us of the joy of sexual love within marriage. But we also know that our longings to be loved this way in this broken world often leads to great sorrow and intense frustration. We recognize that no human being can ever fully satisfy our cavernous needs and desires to be loved. So while this song speaks to us of the beauty of sexual love inside the bonds of marriage, it also points us toward the only person who can love us in the way we most need to be loved, the lover of our souls, Jesus Christ. We tend to think that marriage is primarily about finding the love of our life who will make us happy. But marriage is most profoundly about putting the covenant-keeping love of Christ for his church on display for the world to see, which infuses ordinary marriages with sacred meaning and purpose. Marriage is meant to declare the truth about the gospel, that Christ died for his church and he will never break covenant with his bride. That this is God's intention for marriage is spelled out by Paul, who quotes from Moses' account of the very first marriage and sexual union of Adam and Eve, saying that marriage has always been most profoundly about Christ and the church. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is profound, and I am saying that it refers to Christ and the church. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 31 through 32. Just as the woman in the song quickened at hearing the voice of her bridegroom, so we come alive when we hear the voice of our bridegroom inviting us to come to him. He says, "If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in." Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. And one day, when Christ comes again, at the marriage supper of the Lamb, all who have been wooed by the love of our bridegroom and cleansed by his blood will be presented to him in purity and beauty. We who long for that day are comforted to hear the voice of our beloved saying, "Surely I am coming soon." Revelation chapter 22, verse 20. Nancy Guthrie. How beautiful is your love. Song of Solomon, chapter 4. Men notice women. Female bodies rouse masculine whistles, stares, and calls. Flattery follows. He has learned that words work, so he uses his practiced lines. He tells her she is beautiful. She feels noticed. Noticed is nice. But what flatters at first feels over time like being used. She thinks to herself, he only touches me when he wants something. Yet, if her appearance does not meet expected criteria, or if she begins to age, she wonders if he will look at all. She notices his eyes glancing at commercials, movies, or the woman walking past at the restaurant, or at church. Two can play at that game. She too knows what works. She likes what it feels like to get masculine glances when she enters a room. In this cycle, a slandered version of sexual love gets handed down. We wouldn't recognize the pleasures of true attraction if it walked up to us. After all, few of us have ever witnessed it. What does it actually look like for a man to romantically and truly notice a woman? This chapter gives an answer. To begin, married sex isn't dull. God doesn't just say no. He just says wait till you are married. Then, unashamedly and without guilt, thoroughly enjoy his good gift to both of you. Next, notice the man's words. A wife is created to hear them. The pickup line steals what marriage was made to cultivate. Admittedly, his love poem makes us chuckle. Just remember, the images chosen involve quality, rather than resemblance. A flock of goats. Song 4, verse 1. To describe his wife's hair demonstrates bounty and provision. At least he's trying. Moreover, this husband notices her whole body. His view of her does not narrow to only certain places. Also, he meditates on her physical beauty when she is not around, puts words to it, writes to her about it, and delights in her. Obviously, then, much more than physical touch is involved here, and when touch has its time, the whole woman is in view. She is not a highway on which he speeds quickly to get from one place to another. Together they take the back roads, they slow down, take their time, and enjoy the scenery. Finally, notice that she is not only his bride, but his sister, verses 9 through 10. Not biologically, but spiritually, with partnership and companionship. They are both friend and family. He places sexual longing within the commitment of shared companionship. Her love, not just her physical beauty, captivates him. The result? She wants him too, verse 16. Cherished by him, invited by her, naked without shame. What a blessed relationship. Zach Eswine.